Okay, we're officially recording. So, Alisha, whenever you're ready, go for it.
Okay. This isn't going to take, my team has kind of heard me say this probably 100 times, but I was going to talk today about follow-ups and customer service, which obviously that's what Rachel posted about. But it kind of is more than what everybody seems to think. So most people, when they think about follow-ups, they just like message the person really quick at the end, like after they've received their order, and that's about as far as it goes. But I actually think it's more important to start when you are during your party. So say you had people actually commenting on things, those are the people you want to start interacting with. So if they had questions on sizing or anything, you start messaging them right away and building kind of a rapport with them. And that kind of opens the door. And you don't just talk about like Zaya and sizing and stuff. Usually I try to get to know them a little bit and see like what they're going to be using the item for. Do they usually run a lot? Do they usually lift weights? Whatever. That way they get the right thing the first time. And then it makes your follow-ups at the end a lot easier. But it's usually the people that are interacting the most that actually will write you back anyway. And then once I help them with sizing, you know how you get the email that shows that you had a customer order and what they ordered? I always look at those. And if they look wonky, like say the person ordered large in the leggings. Like I had one the other day. She ordered extra large everywhere pants, medium shorts, and like medium leggings. I'm like, what? That's kind of funky. So I emailed her right away. I just messaged her. And then when I said, because I always do those posts that say, thank you for your order in the party. So when I did that, I tagged her in it and I said, hey, I messaged you. That way she knows to go check her messages. Since if you're not friends with them, they have a hard time seeing the messages. So I go and I tag them in that. And then when they write me back, I'm like, hey, just wanted to clarify your sizing really quick to make sure you get the right things the first time. I noticed you ordered like an extra large in these, but a medium in these. Are you ordering for two different people or are they all for you? And if she says they're all for her, then I'm like, okay, then what are your normal jean sizes? I know a lot of people go off of like weight and height. I have no idea how to do that because everybody's bodies are completely different. Weight and height tells me absolutely nothing. So I'd rather know what size jeans you normally wear, and then what size tops and what size bra and cup size. And so as soon as they tell me that, then I can go from there and say, okay, this is what I would recommend for you instead. And if it needs to be changed, then I can email customer service right away and email them urgent, which I'm sure a lot of you have done before. But email them and change that. That way, when they get their items, they're even more appreciative, because even during that message, they're like, oh my gosh, thanks for catching that. I really appreciate it. Thanks for looking out for me in my order. I'm like, hey, well, I just want to make sure you get the right thing. And then as soon as, usually once a week, I check, I go through all my orders, and whoever I haven't messaged yet, that's who I message and say, hey, just making sure you got your leggings and bra or tank and shorts. And I make it personalized instead of saying got your items, because then they're like, oh, it's probably a copy and paste message. And then when they write back and say yes, then I ask them how they liked it. If they loved it, great. If they didn't, then I need to change their order, obviously. But usually they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for catching this. I'm glad I went with a large, or I'm glad I went with a. So then you've already opened that door. You've already been talking to them and having conversations with them. So you can keep adding to that conversation and say, hey, I don't know if you saw during the party, but if you want to be part of my VIP page, I do giveaways and new product launches and all that fun stuff. I have a certain way of wording that, but my brain just went dead on that. And they're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. So then instead of bombarding them all right away with, hey, do you want my VIP page and host a party and all that, I wait till they've said yes to the VIP page. Then I say, also, are you even interested at all in getting your own free and half off items? Because I noticed how interested you were during the party, and obviously you love what you got. And so then they usually will say yes to that. If they say yes to that, then you can kind of add in the little blurb about repping and say, well, if that interests you, you know, are you ever interested in becoming a brand ambassador for them? Because I usually say that. I don't know why I say brand ambassador instead of rep. It just sounds fancier. And so, and I know that's what Lululemon calls it too. They call them brand ambassadors. And otherwise they just feel like they're selling more stuff, which they kind of are. But if they say maybe, maybe not, then I wait until during their party. And then after their party, I know Nicole did this with me, because she had brought it up, and then I had my party, which was a total failure, by the way. Like my party barely made it to 200, and I still signed up and got the kit just because she's like, hey, did you know you can use your host rewards towards being a rep? And I know a lot of, I don't know if most of my girls are doing this or not, but even like to tell your girls below you to do that also, always ask them if they want to use their host rewards towards repping. I know this isn't a video on recruiting, but it kind of all ties together because you've already been building that relationship with these people. Like I had a lady last night that I was talking to, and she ended up becoming a really good customer because during a party, I've had multiple conversations with her and talked to her about her sizing, but then it turned into what she does for a living, where she lives, and they're like, oh, it's so easy to talk to you. I'm glad you're not just trying to sell me something. And so she's like, that's why I joined your VIP page, because you seemed like a real normal person instead of just someone trying to make sales. So I really think that customer service is huge, and actually giving a crap if they have the right size the first time, instead of just having to do a bunch of exchanges and returns at the end, because that's frustrating for us too, to have to constantly process all of those. So what else? Let's see. Oh, like I even had one girl the other day too. She messaged me because we had built that relationship. I have no idea. She lives in Indiana, and she asked me if it was okay. Her best friend, it was either her best friend or sister-in-law, is a rep, and she asked her to sign up. And she's like, I feel awful because I know I've been following you and everything, and I don't know what to do. So she asked my permission to sign up under somebody else, which, yes, she didn't sign up under me. But the fact that she felt the need to come to me instead of her sister-in-law, like, obviously we had built a little bit of a relationship. So I told her just go for it and do whatever she wants to do. But yeah. And then also never close the door on anybody, because I've had several people ask me, like several of my downline too, ask, what happens if they already have Zaya items that they've bought during other parties? Well, do they even know who the other rep is? If they don't, and they don't have their own rep, that doesn't mean they're necessarily out the door for you and not going to be one of your good customers, because they don't even know who those other people are. So if you're still talking to them and building a relationship, they're going to come back to you, and you're not stepping on other people's toes because they don't have somebody that they go to legitimately. It just was bought during random parties. And so always find that stuff out. And that's why it's always best to keep the conversation going and keep asking questions. Don't ever just let it end and say, okay, well, let me know, because let me know means you're never going to hear from them again. So always check back to, like, say, when people, I do the follow-up email and say if they got their stuff, and they're like, yeah, but I'm on vacation, so I haven't gotten to try it on yet. I'll let you know how it fits. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check back in about a week and see how you liked it. And so you make yourself a little note, and then you go back and check in a week, because they're probably not ever gonna remember to be like, oh yeah, hey, I like the items, unless it didn't fit them. So that's kind of my main stuff. I'm trying to see.
Alisha, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Yes.
So when you start conversations with people, like during the party, do you just start messaging any of the people that are invited, or do you like wait and see who participates and then start connecting with those people, or like how do you start those conversations?
I more do the people who participate, like the ones that are like, ooh, those joggers look awesome, you know, or like, I wonder if my body type would fit this, or it's summer, I do need shorts, anything like that. Then I'm like, okay, this person is clearly, if they're interacting at all, then they actually are invested a little bit. So then you try, I mean, you're trying to get them on the hook a little bit more. The ones that, because half of them invite so many people, I'm not going to message all those because they're not all going to interact and actually want to be at the party. And I don't friend all of them. So that's the other thing. I have never done follow-ups through the email, through the back office. I know that that is a possibility, but I know myself and my junk email fills up, and I don't know if our emails go to people's junk email or not. So I actually do it all on Facebook. And because I'm not friends with them, if I don't hear back within a week, then I do usually message the hostess and be like, hey, I'm reaching out to everyone from your party to make sure they were happy with their items. Is there, and I haven't, or tell her that I haven't been able to get a hold of so-and-so. Is there any way you could just send her a quick message and let her know that I want to make sure she's happy with her order? That way they, and you, I mean, I have never, I think I've maybe had like, I don't even know. I usually hear from pretty much everybody. So I do Facebook. I know you can do the email. I might try. If I can't get a hold of people ever, then I might try the email. Or if they don't have Facebook, obviously, then you do the email route. But all right. Anybody else have questions now that I rambled?
I just want to say, if any of you were on my call about relationship marketing, this is what it is. This is what Alisha does, is that she builds relationships with people and then they want to continue business with her. That's essentially what it is. So like,
yeah, they do
this
say
like
that.
makes my heart explode. I'm so excited.
And I don't do a ton of lives or anything. Well, right now, I don't love being on video. So Nicole, you probably know, and Rachel, I know you were there in the past.
Jordan too.
We've got like a month and a half left, and I just feel like none of my stuff is fitting quite how I want it to. But that's why I still feel like it's important to have those relationships, so it's not like your business just became obsolete because you're not getting on and doing lives. You're still being consistent, and that is the biggest thing, is consistency. So even if you're having a bad month, messaging them and doing all those follow-ups, it might not pan out that month, but those people still will come back the following month. It's crazy how many people say that that's why they joined the VIP group, or that's why they ordered more, is because I helped them so much. And they're like, oh my gosh, that was so awesome that you actually cared to get my order right the first time. Most people are like, sweet, I got an order, and then just bye. So there's that.
Alisha, how many parties are you like averaging a month?
Last month I did 2 a week, which is kind of my norm. This one, I'm doing 1 this week, 2 next week, 1 the next week, and then 2 the following. I tend to like to stagger mine like that because I need time to catch up. And the weeks that I do one party are my weeks that I do follow-ups a lot more. The ones where I do 2, I have a hard time doing all the lives. But that's what, when I do the follow-ups too, I don't know if anyone was reps back when we did, what did we do? That director, was it the director boot camp? And I did that video on how to schedule parties. My biggest thing, because a lot of people who just came from a party, they're not going to want to schedule right away because a lot of times they have the same friends. So I tend to do like, okay, well, I book them the following month so that there's a gap in between. So then you're always booking 1 month further out, if that makes sense, which helps because then you're booking and you're not like, oh crap, I have no one this month because you booked them almost 2 months ago. But I do, most of the time it's the first week I do 2 parties, the next week 1, maybe 2 if I feel really ambitious. The next week, after the 3rd week of the month, I do 2 parties, and then the last week I do one, sometimes none, just so I can play catch up, get all my extra orders in, move orders if I need to, close other parties. I think I already said that. And then make sure my follow-ups are all done for the whole month too. So it gives me a little bit more time to do that because I work full time. I have 1.5-year-old. I'm 7.5 months pregnant. I need a little bit of time. I know Sam, one of my girls, who's a freaking powerhouse too. She's on here. But she was doing like, 3 or 4 parties a week and has 3 kids and works full time. I'm like dumbfounded by that, by the way. I don't even understand. And little events on the side. Like she goes and does all these little events. How does someone have that much time? Sam, can you answer that?
I don't know. I don't know. Like it's exciting. It's fun. I don't know. It's fun. And I have a lot of help with the kids too, I guess. That was kind of when they were still going to daycare, so I had a lot of little extra time. I always try to plan, which I'm going to talk about when I do my Zoom call, is my little events that I try to do at least one a month, and I'm currently working on mimosas and meditation. So we're going to do like a yoga class and mimosas, and then we'll shop.
So creative. I've actually never done an event or an in-home party. I am strictly Facebook because that's what I have time for. So you kind of just need to make sure your business works for what you do in life. Like it doesn't have to be run like anybody else. It just do what works for you. Same with, I know Rachel, you like Instagram better. I don't know how to use Instagram.
Okay, Alisha, I have a question, and Sam, if you have answers for this too, but you guys have lots of hostesses, and I share, I always pass along with you guys, like what I do to find hostesses. I do my VIP group giveaway. I've shared a document on just like ways of finding hostesses, but do you guys have any extra things that you guys do that like we haven't talked about or that we share? Because I feel like that's something that especially new reps really struggle with, is picking up that momentum. So like, how do you guys find hostesses? Is there anything different that you're doing?
Well, I know all my girls post like the calendar that shows what weeks they have booked, and a lot of them, like the last couple months, have been doing like each week has a different discount that goes with it. Like hostesses in that book this week get 20% off something. Hostesses in this week get half off legging, that kind of thing. I've never really done that. My main way of getting hostesses is literally from follow-ups and having like building the relationship prior to them even getting their items. And so by the time they get it, then they're like, okay, yeah, I do really love these. I do like how you ran things. So yes, I want to have a party with you. So that's my biggest thing that I do. I don't know. That's what I do.
Well, I think the relationship is important too, because I've found that there will be people who want to join like my VIP group, and I maybe don't know them very well, but then we'll kind of get to know each other. And then over time, all of a sudden they'll come to me and be like, okay, I'm ready. I want to host a party. And it doesn't end up being like, I haven't had to chase hostesses, because even though I'm like putting in work and having conversations and building relationships with people, I don't have to ask them anymore, because they just know what I do, and they know that I care, and when they're ready, then they've been asking me. So I don't know if maybe you're feeling that way too.
Because they know it's an option and they've seen you post about it.
Yep.
And you've already asked them originally. So you don't want to also bombard people and keep asking and asking, like, are you sure you don't want to have a party? Are you sure you don't want to have a party? Because then they're going to get like annoyed and pushed away. Like I got suckered into a Pampered Chef party that I didn't even know that I signed up for. Because it was back in February, but the lady kept asking and asking, so I kind of got annoyed. And apparently I went back and read our conversation. I wrote, sure, fine, maybe sometime in June. Because I don't run my conversations like that. Like I don't keep asking and asking, like when I told you no the first time kind of thing. If you're in my VIP group and you see all the posts and then you really like it, then you, like you said, Rachel, you reach out and they'll eventually say yes. That's why you post what weeks you have open, and then they'll be like, okay, yeah, I want to host now. But so apparently I have a Pampered Chef party the week of the 17th, which kind of is opposite of what I was just trying to say, because apparently she did sucker me into it, even though I'm annoyed. But whatever. I like Pampered Chef.
No, but I think the takeaway is the building of the relationship.
Yeah.
Like, you're not that excited about it because she
No.
didn't take the time to build a relationship with you. She just is bugging you about it.
Yeah, she just sent a bunch of the same old like copy and pasted things. Like nothing was personalized of, you know, getting to know me or what I do for a living, you know, like this just wasn't anything. So, but
Alisha,
I think that's the biggest thing. So sorry if this is a repetitive relationship building course like Rachel did. Relationship marketing. But
I don't know if it's with all Pampered Chef, but the party that I was just in with Pampered Chef too, she used Post My Party or whatever that site is, and she told the hostess or the rep told me that Pampered Chef has like their own like template for Post My Party, and like so none of it was like personalized at all. Not bashing on Post My Party, I've never used it or anything, but you could just tell that it wasn't personalized.
yeah. That makes
Alisha,
sense.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How are you keeping track of all of your people?
You want to know? It's so not legit.
But I do want to know, because some people, we've talked about this before, but how are you doing it?
My notes on my phone,
Okay.
and then I put a check mark or delete it if I did it. So like all these people, this one wanted a party in March, then she wanted May. And then this one, potential rep, message her at the end of April to see if she wants a party. And then I keep on this list too, like this person wanted the black chills in a small, that so that I can, you know, message them if they restock or whatever.
So that's like your master to-do list.
Danny. Oh, there you are. Yeah, I even have a note in here. Steph wants to have a party with Danny. Yeah, I don't know. So I use my notes, even though I think a spreadsheet or something, I don't know, something would probably be easier, but I usually always have my phone on me. So if I'm at work and someone messages me, I can just type it in there really quick. But
You just have to find what works for you.
And then paper is also good, but I lose that. And then I end up with like a million sticky notes everywhere. So that doesn't, and like 5 in my scrub pockets and 2 in my purse. Yeah, I lose them.
So I have a question. So when you're doing parties and you're booking them out, you said like 2 months ahead of time. So when you go to get ready for that party, how do you initiate that conversation and be like, hey, by the way, like 2 months ago, you said you wanted to host a party? Like, how does that work?
Well, usually, I mean, oddly, a lot of them will message me and be like, hey, because they'll get the emails from corporate that say like, you need to be inviting people. And so they'll message me and like, am I supposed to be inviting people? And I'm like, no, just ignore those emails unless they're doing an in-home party or have people not on Facebook, then they can use that system. But I just say, don't worry, I'll send you everything you need to know like the Thursday before if I'm going to start on Monday, or Friday before. But otherwise, if they haven't messaged me about that, then I'll send them a quick message and say, hey girl, do you still want to start on Monday for your party? And I'll send that Thursday probably so that they're for sure get back to me by Friday. And then once they say, yeah, I'm still ready to go, then I'm like, okay, I'll get everything set up and I'll send you everything you need to know. Which is, I don't know if you guys have little templates you send, but I kind of send the same thing to everybody. It's, I create their group first, and obviously their event is already in the back office. And then I send them like, hey, here's what I think you should post on your personal page. Make sure, and I give them their link to their group on Facebook. I said, you can also send this link to people who don't, that probably won't join the group or won't be available. They can add themselves to this, and here's your personal party link too. So if people don't have Facebook and won't be around, then they can shop still. I always click allow shopping too before the party starts so that people can shop. And a lot of my hostesses will buy stuff on theirs prior to the event so that they get even more rewards, if that makes sense, like before their party's even going. What else do I put in that email? Oh, and I tell them all about how interacting, like using more than 3 words, that kind of thing. They know their friends better than I do. So the more that they interact and help tag people, the more orders they're going to get for rewards. And then I send them some pictures to post with what they put on their personal page. But that's usually how I start the conversation, is just, hey, are you still ready to start on Monday for your party? That's like the one sentence.
And Leish, you said that, I don't know if this isn't working either.
This is Ashley.
Yeah. Can you see me?
I can now. I had to scroll to the other screen.
Oh, I don't know how this thing works. Sorry. And I was late.
And I don't know how it works either.
At least you can see my face this time. So when you said that they get the emails from corporate, is that just if you put them on the event, like start their event earlier in the week than that Thursday? Does that make sense?
No, I've noticed that every person, and I even click off of the email thing, you know, like where you can put allow shopping, and then there's 2 more little boxes that say like email hostess. I don't even know what they say, but I check off of those, so I don't even know.
I've never had a hostess get emails from corporate, so that's what I'm kind of wondering what I'm doing.
Well, it comes from the back office, and it says like, hey, don't forget to invite your friends. Hey, reach out to your hostess. Like 2 weeks or a week prior, they get an email saying, don't forget to reach out to your hostess. And
how does that happen? Like, how do you put it? Do you put them in as a hostess that early? I don't understand.
well, when I put there, as soon as they tell me they want to have a party, I schedule it in my back office immediately.
Okay. Oh,
So
but you don't make the event.
I don't make the event on Facebook.
You make it in your back office, so.
Yeah, but in your back office, because otherwise I lose track of who's what week. So immediately as they tell me that they want to have a party, I put it in my back office so it's in my events, and I have them all listed out.
Okay.
So that I can look at that and be like, oh, I already have someone that week. I already have someone that week.
Yeah.
And that way they're getting reminders apparently from my back office that they have a party coming up. And so that way, maybe that's why when I say, are you still ready to start Monday? They're not surprised that I'm messaging them.
That's a really good idea, actually. I was wondering the same thing, Ashley. I was like, how are they getting these emails? But I think it's because, I don't put them in until like I set up their party on Facebook.
Oh, really?
And then I create their event. But that's a great idea. I think I should probably.
Because I noticed I've had more sales that way too, because then I'll send the personalized link. Like as soon as I make their party, as soon as they're like, hey, I want to do July 8th through the whatever, then I go in the back office, make the party, and then I take that personalized link of theirs and I send it to them and say, hey, I got your event all set up. I'll give you more information when we get started. Here's your personalized link. So if you personally want to shop from it prior, or if you have friends and family that want to shop from it prior that aren't going to be around that week, feel free to give them this link and they can start shopping. That's why I click the allow shopping.
Oh, that's a really good.
And that way, usually before the party even starts, they might have like 1, maybe 2 orders, even if it was just themselves. Like when we get restocks or new launches, they order from their own party so that they get rewards.
That's smart.
So what do you do for like the start date and the end date that you have to put in there in the back office?
It still lets you do. So I'll put like the Monday through Thursday. So what is this week? I don't even know. But I put in that normal date, and it doesn't matter as long as you don't click close shopping. And if you keep the box checked that says allow shopping, it lets you keep shopping even long after your date ended. That actually doesn't matter. As long as you don't click close party or submit order. Those both close it. So does that help, Kim? Okay.
Oh, it helps if I'm unmuted. I answered you and I was muted.
It's okay. I saw your mouth. Yeah, I didn't know. Maybe I don't even know if Rachel or Nicole does it that way. Do you enter them right when you get them, or do you not start the event until they're ready?
I don't start it until, sorry guys, I'm really sick. I don't start it until like the day before, or like that Thursday when I touch base with them. Mainly because when I have all those events in my back office, it like drives me crazy.
See, and I like to see it so that I know, okay,
yeah,
don't schedule anyone this date because I already have 2 that week and I'm really scared.
In the notes section of my phone, I have my whole schedule of my parties.
See, that
So
would
that's
work
how
too.
I do it that way.
I feel like it's easier just to get it done. So it's one less later, I guess. And they get to shop then.
Yeah, no, that yours makes a lot of sense, and I'm probably gonna start doing it that way. So,
but I just saw that message.
Chat?
What did that say?
Yeah.
Where did it go? What did it say? If you have that many parties, I do show them all on my site. Only because, so like I have that loyalty program I'm doing right now. That's the other way I've been getting sales. So people can open their own link for 60 days and, excuse me, sorry, gross. They can open their own link for 60 days and put in orders whenever they want, new launches, anything. And that way they can find, I mean, I sent them their own link too, but my mom seems to keep losing her link. So she'll just order under my normal one until I put show on site so that she could actually find it. And it says Lana's reward link. And that way, when it gets to either 600 or 1,000 or whatever she wants to get to, she can close out for host rewards. So I don't know if anybody else is doing that too, but I do those little loyalty programs. I think I have like 5 girls that are taking part in that right now. They just order through their own stuff so they get rewards. But then, so yes, I do show them all on my site so people can pick. So like, say I have a party in July and that person will be gone and their sister wants to order from it, then they can go to the site and still find it. Even if they don't have her direct link, they can still be like, oh, I want to look at Danny's party or something and shop from it. I know it kind of bombards it if you have a ton, but maybe my one's like way far out. I don't, but like at least in 2 months I do. Anything?
I have a non-party question for you.
Yeah.
So when you follow up with people and everything, and then you are done talking to them for a while, do you ever like, how do you go back to your VIP girls that you haven't talked to in a while? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Usually if they comment on something or like I have one, she used to be a super great customer in the very beginning and then she kind of went MIA for a while. And then, so I just reached out and I was like, hey, how's it going? Like, I know you had started a new job. Is that going great for you? You know? And that kind of starts the conversation. And then all of a sudden she's back and she's ordered a bunch of stuff. But I just, like, if you remember little details, or I keep all my conversations on there so I can scroll back through and be like, what did we talk about? I don't remember everything about everybody. But I say, like, how are the kids doing? Because I know one of them, who told me that? Somebody had like like their son had broken their leg or something. I was like, how's his leg doing? Even though it was like 2 months ago, but whatever. It just gives you something to start the conversation with. If you feel like you've missed them for a while or they've been MIA on your page for a while.
I feel like it's all about relationship marketing, like all of it.
It is.
And
good thing you started with that, Rachel, because I'm just piggybacking on it.
well, even like, I don't know how many of you guys work, but a lot of jobs are like that too. Like I know when we see patients, that is what we do every time we see them, is we talk about the same stuff we talked about last time. And as long as you have a system to keep track of that, and it's like Alisha said, as easy as scrolling back through your Facebook messages to touch base again. So
that's exactly what we do at work, Nicole. I mean, we do
I know. Yeah.
So I always make notes like this
Mm-hmm.
person's kid graduated and is going to be working here, wherever, whatever. And so then in 3 months or 6 months when I see them for their next cleaning, I'm like, oh, how's your daughter doing? You know, and they think you remembered. They're like, holy cow, you have an awesome memory. I'm like, yeah, I know. I try really hard to remember details. I don't know these things, but
I just tell them, like, if they really ask me, I'm like, No, I actually have a note down to to remind myself because I can't remember anything. But yeah, no, people
some
care
I
about that.
remember details, but
Yeah.
some of them I need those notes. Because you see them every 6 months for, you know, however many years, or every 3 months for however many years. You get to know a lot about someone, and so they like. Maybe that's where we learned that from. And it applies to this really well. Is just getting to know your customer, getting to know your patients, getting to know, yeah.
Well, and I think it's the consistency over time with that too, you know? Like you said, you see them every 3 to 6 months for how many years, and that's how you get to know them. It's like the same thing with this business. You have to connect with people every so often, and it might take months or years before they decide that Zaya is something for them. Like the other day, just this morning, I had a girl who messaged me who I haven't even talked to about Zaya, but I've just talked to about like random other things here and there. I'll shoot her a message and connect with her, and she's like, "Oh, hey, I think I want to buy some leggings." I'm like, "Perfect. Let's
Just
get
random.
you some leggings." I mean, it's just all about like being consistent and showing them that you care, because unless they see that you care, they're not going to care about you or your business.
Yeah, actually, I mean, Sam brought up a good point earlier. If you love it and you're excited about it, they do see that. I mean, if you kind of just post half-assed and like once a week only on product launch days and stuff, then I don't know, you don't really seem all that invested in your own company, and people see that. They can tell that you're not. So back to like reaching out and follow-ups. If you're reaching out and following up with customers, or even talking to them during parties and making sure you're first, they know that you're invested in your own company and you want the best for your company and your customers. So then they are more apt to answer back and actually have a conversation with you because they're appreciative of that. So I feel like I'm just repeating myself.
Back to what you said about having a loyalty program for your girls or for your customers. Do you make that last a whole month, or how do you, like on your back office, do you schedule that to just last for a month, or?
I actually do it for 60 days. So
60 days.
And I know that we have rules that they're only 30-day parties, but I've literally never had a problem. And same with your normal, like your May shopping link. Say you didn't meet rewards that you wanted, and so you extend it to June and keep using that same link. It's never shut it down on me. I don't know. I don't know that there really is an actual cutoff. So I just do 60 days. I don't usually let it go longer than that. And then I make it know, okay, I'm like, your link is open from June 5th to August 5th. I started it in May, so it's like May. Most of them end in July when I started doing that. But
I asked customer service one time about the length of a party because I had read that they're supposed to be for 30 days, and they told me as long as you want was their response.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that they care.
Yeah, and I think it has helped. I mean, I probably only have, like I said, 5 or 6 right now that are doing it, but I think more are kind of catching on that, hey, I can get rewards too. I mean, most of it is people that have already had parties just recently, and so they still know the reward system and they still want to get rewards, but they don't necessarily want to have another party because they just finished one.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that are kind of mostly taking part in the rewards.
Well, then I think also it feels more personalized to them. They're thinking like they're a part of this secret club where they are getting rewards from shopping that no one else is getting.
Yeah,
and I think it makes it easier for them.
When we post this recording, if someone reminds me, I can post the little picture I did that said like VIP reward membership that they could comment on that said they wanted to be part of that. So that's the picture I used.
Sweet.
I need reminders though. But
Alisha, do you contribute your insane PV to all of your parties? Like, what are you?
Last month, yes.
What's your secret?
Well, most of my parties will get between 600 and 1,000. Not this week. I haven't had a single sale on this party, and she even messaged me and was like, oh yeah, I messaged everybody and nobody's interested. I'm like, then why are we having a party? But yes, in general. And then my set group of customers, that like your loyal customer base or those host awards. I actually had, because normally in a month I'll probably average 4,500 to 5,000. Last month was insane, getting 10. And I think a couple months ago I got up to 78. But normally it's around 5,000. And it's, yeah, it is both their VIP page and party. And so I know that Natalie's going to do that video on the 9th. So on Sunday, is that Sunday? On how other people run their business without doing parties at all, which I was reading the comments on that, and they just strictly do their VIP, and they do giveaways and everything, and it's only their VIP group, and they get insane sales. So it is possible to do it without parties too. I don't know, is Sam still on here? No, she's not. She gets most of hers really from her VIP page. But she goes live every single day, sometimes a couple times a day. I don't have time to do that really. Or I do, but my husband would probably make fun of me because he likes to sit. Our house is small. So he sits in the other room and makes fun of me when you're like, hey ladies. Because we all say that.
This is why I don't go live in front of my husband. I should though. Like I'm fearless to go live in front of like my group that has hundreds of people in it, but in front of my husband who's knows me better than anybody, I'm like, don't look at me.
I'm in like our guest room / his laundry room basically right now because he's in the living room. But
they like to make fun of us.
I know.
Well, thanks for all the information, Alisha. I don't know if anybody else has questions, but super helpful.
Yeah, so start during your parties. And don't be afraid to email customer service and change orders if you think they look funky. That is the biggest thing. I know sometimes they order for multiple people, but you won't know that unless you ask them. So sometimes they just have all sorts of crazy sizes. Then anyway, I'm gonna stop talking.
All right, does anybody else have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry, I know I was a couple minutes late, but when it comes to that, Alisha, when you when you think their party order looks funky, how do you approach asking them about sizing when you've never met them and they don't say anything to you and you don't know anything about them?
So, which I know if other people have this question too, later they can always rewatch it, but I usually message them as soon as I get their order, then I'll message them right away and say, hey, I noticed that you chose an extra large in this and a medium in this. Is that what you meant to do? I was just curious I wanted to make sure you got the right sizes the first time around so you don't have to deal with any exchanges. And if they obviously we're not friends on Facebook, so they don't write back, then when I do that little thank you thing I do,
Yeah.
The little picture and I write on it, thank you, whoever.
Right.
And I post it to the party that they ordered. Then I'll tag them and say, hey, thank you for your order. I appreciate it. I messaged you. And that way they see that I messaged them and they'll go look.
Okay.
So then when they write me back and they're like, hey, thanks for checking, but this is for my daughter and this is for me. Or if they say, I ordered an extra large in that because I thought that's what sizing was. I was like, hey, well, I just want to get a little background. What size are your jeans normally? And what size are your bra and cup size and that kind of thing. And when they answer me, then I'm like, okay, I really think you should be wearing a large in this or whatever. And she's like, okay, awesome. Is there a way to change it? I'm like, yeah, I'll change it for you really quick. But you have to do it by 7 a.m. the next morning. That's why I always make sure as soon as I get the email, I message them immediately.
Okay.
If it looks weird.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We just had a really good restock, you guys. I don't know if you saw that.
The flamingo?
Yeah.
Yeah. We all posted it. Because Sam had one of her girls order a small, and so she messaged our whole group and she's like, hey, I think they restocked. So then I posted a sneaky restock picture.
And the Black Kettle Moon Tank.
Oh, really?
And the Plum Joggers, and what was the other one?
I'm
Oh my
hoping
gosh, I just got them.
are still in stock because I was waiting for those to order with the I can't talk. Flamingo.
Did we get an email then, Rachel?
Yeah.